What are you searching?
Whoa, dude, whoa, hey. You can't do that. No, man, hey, don't look there. It's porn, okay? Yeah, I got a porn addiction. It's normal. A lot of guys have a porn addiction. It's no big deal. I like butts and stuff. Boobs are my jam, okay? I see a babe, I see a girl walking down the street. You know what I think? I'm like, hey, it's hot. I like it a lot. So, I'm not going to apologize for that. And it's weird that you creep up on me. That's kind of fucked up.
I saw Eddie Hall's underwear. Like
you're searching Eddie Hall's underwear? That's fucked up. See, that's what I'm talking about, Severin. I knew there's something weird about you. Me, on the other hand, I'm walking in every day, and you know what I'm thinking about? Girls. How hot they are.
Why were you searching Eddie
Hall's? Huh?
Why were you searching?
I was not. No, you want to see it. You want to see it. Okay, you can't see it right now because this thing's frozen. But trust me, if you could see it right now, you would see girls. Bro, you won't even know. You don't want to know what they're doing. Bro, I'm a dirty dog. Okay. You want to get that sorted. You're sick. I feel bad for you. I wish you had my libido. I wish you did.
Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze.
What's cracking, guys? Omar Isaf here, back with another video. Peach Boy becomes a strong boy, strongman training episode 2. If you like this new series, me hoisting things above my head, me pushing things, make sure to like the damn video. Let's talk about it today. What's going on? So this is the last video from the Sacramento trip where Alan Thrall, who will be coaching me when it comes to strongman training, he walks me through the Atlas stone, lifting a stone and a proper tutorial on that.
Good work.
And there's many misconceptions I want to clear up briefly about strongman training that I've seen in the comment sections. And don't worry, I made the same damn mistakes and I'm still learning, so I'm probably going to say some wrong shit. First off, when it comes to strongman events or strongman competitions, what's really cool, there's a variety. Typically, they break down to a few different distinctions, so a few different categories. Much like in powerlifting, when we have the squat, bench, deadlift, when it comes to strongman training, typically you'll have some sort of thing you need to pick up, so some sort of weird object, so like a stone, a sandbag, lift it over a barrier, so that's one of the events. There'll also typically be some sort of carry, so either a yoke walk on your back or something along the lines of a farmer's walk that you have to hold something. There'll be some sort of event where you have to lift something over your head, so a log press, a circus dumbbell, something like that. It could even be a medley, right? Then event number 4 might be a partial range of motion heavy object lift, so like a car tire deadlift would be an example of that. Anything, maybe even you see in World's Strongest Man where they have to do almost, it's like a half squat with like 1,000 pounds. So overload movement. And then the 5th one is kind of up in there. It could be a medley. It could be a variety of different things. But there's a lot of different events. So it depends upon what actual competition you're training for that determines the events you have to train towards that. Okay, that's cool. But there's a lot of other things that we need to clear up. And because strongman, in the public's eye, there's this huge category of the professional strongman. So we have the world's strongest man. So you have these freaks. So we have Hafthor, we have Eddie Hall, we have Brian Shaw, we have Martins Lisi competing. That's the best of the best. That's like talking about Ed Cohen, Andrei Milanichev, all the lifters that you see up there. But strongman is actually far more nuanced than that. There's a lot more categories. There actually is tested strongman. There's untested strongman. I think the official stance of World's Strongest Man is that they do test, but I'm not trying to raise any controversy here, but some athletes have admitted, I think they're far more loose, and that's cool. You do whatever the hell they want. But there's a bunch of different ways that you can compete in strongman, and there's a bunch of different weight classes, because some people were saying, like, wait a second, like, you're doing strongman, you're going to be competing against, like, Eddie Hall or any of those individuals? Not a chance in hell. Think about it like this. If there is Ed Cohen when it comes to untested powerlifting, or Andrei Milanichev or Dan Green, so that's in powerlifting, there's also then the IPF, right? And so the individuals I'd be competing against would be in my weight class, which for strongman would be 175 pounds. It's the lightest weight class right now, I weigh 180 pounds. So I'd be wanting to compete in 175. And so I'd be competing, if it was the IPF, 83 kilos, with the likes of individuals like a Johnny Candido. So don't think even amongst the tested, a Ray Williams, it'd be class specific, so it'd be someone like a Johnny Candido. Okay. Now, where it gets interesting is that there's competitions that have a 2-hour weigh-in and competitions that have a 24-hour weigh-in. It's kind of, once again, until the IPF had a standardized approach, if you go back to powerlifting circa 2012, when I first became aware of it and kind of got into it and interested, there's a bunch of different federations. And the federations make up the rules that they want, and then there's a sanctioning body that governs them. But right now, World's Strongest Man, because there's a lot of different categories, and probably the total amount of participation right now worldwide isn't quite as high as something like powerlifting. There's not that standardized approach yet. All this to say that when it comes to the competitions, I'll say the first one I'm looking at is with my boy Eric Helms, because I think it's fun to do things with your friends. And so he has a competition he's training for in New Zealand that I think I might want to do in May, and that's a 2-hour weigh-in. And then Alan Thrall, I know, and this isn't, I'm not trying to give any spoilers to anything, but he's going to be competing, it looks like, in June. And he said, hey man, would you want to compete with me? He'd be in the 231 weight class, so he's in a weight class above me, 2 weight classes above me. I'd be in 175. And I said, yeah, dude, let's do it, because we already, the video's not out yet, but myself and Alan, we started a new business together. There's a lot of spoilers I'm giving you guys right here, but it'd be cool to hang out in Sacramento. Him, Sal, and Mike is always a great training time. If he's going to compete there as well. And that's a completely different organization. But what's cool, the one, and I'll just leave, I won't reveal it just yet, but the one that we both would be competing against, if either of us to win it, as far as my understanding is concerned, what I understand, for that governing body, we would qualify for the amateur strongman at the Arnold. So pretty damn cool. There's a bunch of different categories and there's a bunch of different distinctions. But that's what I want to just to mention briefly, that much like powerlifting, think a strongman is kind of like powerlifting, and we see the Dan Greens, so we see the Brian Shaws competing at that level, but there's a huge stratification, right? So there's different categories and different types of actually events that you can do. Like I said, the 2-hour weigh-in, really, really cool stuff. And I'm just getting into it right now. I'm trying to learn the movements, practice them slowly, increase my general overall strength, so on the deadlift, on the overhead press, and then get more specific with the movement. So I'm going to be training them 1 time per week. All right, next strongman event we're learning about, lifting the stone of steel.
That was a good intro.
I was kind of scared when I was saying, you know, when someone tries to act a stone of steel.
That's correct. We are doing a stone of steel load. So this is an Atlas stone simulator. It's a steel Atlas stone. We'll talk about it when we use it.
So it's one of the events that I'm going to be doing in my secret competition. And I've done stones 1 time before, but is this, Alan, the height that like is traditionally used?
Close enough. Men will usually use 50 to 52 inches.
Yeah.
Not always, but, and then women will use a little bit less than that, probably 48 inches. This is like 50, 49 inches, something like that. We have these platforms. You can go all the way to 60 inches. Yep. You can go higher than that. But yeah, this is a good, solid height for today.
So what are the basics when it comes to stone loading?
So this empty only weighs 135 pounds.
Got it.
As we add weight, it is much harder, much more difficult than an Atlas stone because it's smooth. It's very smooth and slick. So you have to squeeze really hard. So to start, what you're gonna do is draw an imaginary line, cutting the stone in half from side to side. And then you're gonna place the ball of your foot or the joint of your big toe, maybe the crease that your shoe makes, that's gonna go right about the middle of the stone. Okay? You don't wanna pick a stone up from back here. You wanna get right over the stone like this. Now from here, you're gonna place your feet wide enough that it's outside the stone, obviously, but not too wide. You want it just enough room to fit your hands in there. A narrower stance is gonna allow you to lap the stone. If you take a really wide stance, when you pick it up, it's either gonna fall through your legs or you're gonna have to buckle your knees in. So you wanna get really close so you can set it on your lap. So once your feet are in the right position, just enough space to get my hands in there, you spread your fingers apart as wide as you can so that you can get as much surface area on the stone as possible. And it's gonna allow you to get your fingers a little bit deeper. So when you grab the stone, you're gonna grab right around the diameter of the stone where your hand's gonna go. And you're gonna dig until your knuckles are touching the ground. So get as far under as you can. You don't need to go underneath the stone. Just go as far as you can until your knuckles are scraped on the ground. And then from here, once you're in position, you're gonna keep your butt up high. So your shins are nearly vertical. They don't need to be vertical, but just not, your knees aren't too far forward. It's not a squat, you're not like this. It is like a stiff leg deadlift, okay? From the side, my arms are pretty straight up and down. I'm not holding it like this. I'm not up and over it like that, okay? So once you're in position, stiff leg deadlift, hips up high, you're gonna squeeze the stone as hard as you can, like you're doing a chest fly. You're gonna get your hands, wrists, and forearms, squeeze against the stone.
I should be sick at this movement.
Exactly. All those chest flies you've been doing, you're gonna crush this thing with your huge pecs. So you're gonna squeeze it, and then you're going to deadlift it up until it passes your knees. Once it passes your knees, you'll pull it into your lap. So it looks like this. Fingers all the way down, knuckles touching the ground. I'm gonna squeeze my hands, wrists, and forearms against the stone, like I'm trying to do a chest fly. Deadlift up, then pull it into your lap, okay? From here, you're gonna readjust your hands and you're gonna go up and over like this. So almost like you're doing 10 and 2 on a clock. Try to get your biceps on the stone, not like this, okay? Biceps on the stone, and then from here, it's actually gonna be the same technique as that log press that I taught you. Okay. So hips forward, roll the stone up your body, and load it over. So go on that side, and then you're just gonna, when I load this over, you're gonna follow it down to that pad. Okay? So from here, hips up, up, up. Just like that. Okay, so let me go back and talk about deadlifting the stone up. You're not curling it into your lap. You're not just using your arms to pick it up. So it's not like this. People will do that, where they'll try to just pull it in, right? And they'll bend their arms too soon. Here, deadlift it up. When it passes your knees, pull it in. I actually, for the stone of steel, like a little bit of clamminess. So I would say no chalk. A little bit of spit actually works well. Good, you get your feet a little bit closer to it. You can even point your toes out to kind of frog stance it. Yep, right there. Now squeeze it as hard as you can and then stiff leg deadlift it up. Up and over, that's good. Pull it tight against your body. Good, so with this, there's a little bit of technique difference with the stone of steel because it's so slick that you can't really get up and over it too much like this. I would say that a stone of steel does have to be a little more here.
Okay.
So
I
you
was
can
kind
hold
of like
it.
this, Alan, like I went.
Yeah, it's just really hard for this because this is so slick, especially on t-shirts. So you do have to hold it a little tiny bit lower than normal.
Sure.
But it's pretty much the same same technique.
How did it look, Alan? Honestly.
It looked good. I will say that you need to deadlift up more.
Was I squatting?
No, you went here, and then you just like pull it in your lap. Just deadlift it up and then pull it in.
Yeah, so like full on deadlift, like stand, Alan, or?
Once it passes your knees, then pull it in. Don't pull it in before it crosses your knees. All right, I'll go. Yeah. You get a spot from that side? Good, nice job. This is slick. You're not doing anything wrong. It is really slick. Squeeze harder.
Like to get like inside?
Yeah. Just squeeze it harder. Get your biceps on the stone so that you can squeeze all your arm against the stone.
I was pec flying the shit out of the start. It feels good. That start feels good.
You should do that on load too. Pec fly. Even though you're around here, you're still pulling it in and squeezing it as hard as you can. A really small stone, you can't load it the same way. So that's why I wanted to start with this, because it's a big stone, but it's still pretty light for us. Okay, in strongman, you are allowed, with Atlas stones, you're allowed to use tacky. And this is like, it's kind of like pine tar in baseball. Tree sap, tree resin, it's very sticky. You put it on your hands and your forearms, and you can stick to the stone. So when you see guys like Brian Shaw or World's Strongest Man, you see them with all this sleeves or tape on their arms and a bunch of sticky stuff. That's called tacky. And again, you are allowed to use it in strongman.
You know, the paleo version of that is just beeswax.
Yeah. But that's not the, this is the vegan version.
Right, naturally.
Yeah. Okay, so your tip. Biceps. When you are loading it, biceps on the stone. Biceps on the stone. Squeeze all of this on the stone.
Got it.
So just stay connected to it. Stay on the stone the whole time. Stand up. Try to get the stone up to the ceiling and then load it over. Nice job. Good work. Try to hold on to the stone for a little longer.
As I'm
you're going here and then you're wanting to throw it.
Yeah.
Just hold on to it a little bit longer. And you're still kind of squatting. You're dropping your butt.
On the way, okay.
Yeah.
What we got, Alan?
150.
Yep.
Everything is the exact same.
Good, okay.
Here. Up to the lat. Get high. And then stand up, up. Okay? Yeah. Why don't you try it with this?
Yep.
There's some really cool accessories. I mean, if you're in Sacramento and you train strongman, there's no reason why you shouldn't be going to Alan Thrall's gym. We had the Viking press, so that allows you to do a little bit of the dip and drive. And that, as an example, when it came to his competition that he did recently, that was one of the events, right? In another competition, it might not be one of the events. So the Viking press is a cool accessory movement to help with the overhead press. I love lifting shit over my head. I like picking things up off the ground. The Atlas stone felt pretty damn good picking it up from the ground to the lap, as they call it, and then kind of gripping that sucker and getting it over. It took a little bit of time, but we finally got it. We got the 200-pound stone, which Alan said if I did the 200-pound stone, he'd be like, all right, we're making progress. So that's what we did. All things are coming together. Let me know, maybe leave a comment in the comment section below if you want me to outline my actual training, because like I said, right now I'm kind of in phase 1, okay? So we talk about general preparedness. I'm training the strongman events 1 time per week, starting this week, just getting used to them, the events that I'd be competing in, slowly acclimating, not going crazy, kind of refer to Alan Thrall's video where he talks about his Strongman Dangerous, how to get into it. So I want to compete at least 1 time in 2020. That's the goal. Get a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, and then in fall, lean down again. So that's where I have my eyes set on. And what's really cool, I can just say from a personal example of this, a lot of my training, like I said before, looks pretty damn similar, but that athletic component, if you're an OG, and that's why some people said, oh man, you're doing strongman. If you're an OG to the channel, or even just, once again, 7 or 8 years ago, there's a reason why I went down to Florida. I did a little bit of strongman training 7 years ago. I used to talk about athletic aesthetics, so being able to move and do different things. I used to do a little bit of sprinting. I like to remain a little bit leaner. I want to be strong. I want to do things with my body, and so strongman presents that opportunity where the load lifted is pretty damn heavy, and you're trying to rep that thing out. And one of the events, once again, for one of the competitions, is a 550-pound partial range of motion deadlift, essentially. So you need to be strong, you need to be explosive, and you need to have some muscular endurance. A nice little combination, really to push yourself. And like I said, when it comes to training, you want to do things that motivate you. And right now, my motivation overall when it comes to lifting, there's a reason why I'm posting all those shirtless pictures, Severin. They get a lot of likes. We got some boys sliding in the DM. What's up? And then also just your interest level overall in your progress, where right now I'm very motivated, I'm focused on my lifting, things are going great, right? So why would I stop doing that? And I want to reiterate that. Thank you so much for watching this video. The 3rd episode of Strong Boy Training. We'll probably be uploading one once every 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. So just stay tuned. Let me know what type of content you guys want to see. Stay also tuned for that announcement with myself and Alan about the new business, the Andrei Milanichev interview, doing a bunch of different things. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, you made it all the way to the end. You're not going to like it. You're not going to like it when we're in this darkened room. We have the vent going on, Severin. It's giving us shit. But you know what we're going to do?
Murder it.
We can't murder inanimate objects, but we're going to throw it down, pick it back up, and toss it over our head as a strongman event. Yeah, strong boy event, exactly. If you like the video, like the damn video, and I'll see all you guys, my rascals, in that next one. Peace.
Eat your vegetables, eat your vegetables, eat your fucking vegetables.